Hello everyone, I'm Percy number 6, and today I want to talk about Big World, Big Adventures. It's going to be the upcoming Thomas and Friends movie, and what this 22nd season of Thomas and Friends will be known as. And it's a pretty big change to the Thomas and Friends world, one that, from what I've seen, and honestly what I kind of agree with, a lot of people are not looking forward to. So I want to take some time, just go over my opinions on all of this, and we'll just see how it goes. And of course, I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section below. So either tell me them right away or wait till you're done listening to me and then tell me them. Because this is such a big topic within our community, and I'd love to hear what people have to say. So as you watch whatever I have up for pictures in this video, hope you enjoy. Let me start out by saying this. There are some people, actually what I think a lot of people within our community, who are very keen on keeping things within the Railway series. That's why people loved Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure and The Adventure Begins. It seems like to many people that was the best time in the CGI era of Thomas. And I can understand why. Those were good specials. And people didn't like The Great Race and Journey Beyond Sodor. And I didn't mind them. I thought Great Race was actually good. Journey Beyond Sodor was, I don't want to say okay, but that's the first word that comes to my mind. I think it was better than okay, but it wasn't great. Didn't blow me out of the water, you know. It wasn't bad, but and anyway, I'm just not like those people. I've actually kind of enjoyed some of that. I don't really watch any of the new seasons. The last real episodes I've seen are when the small railway engines came onto Sodor and had their episodes. I watched that. I watched A Shed for Edward. I watched the one where Big Mickey appeared. I can't think of what the episode is. I'm pretty sure I watched that. So I did watch a few episodes from season 21. But overall, I honestly don't like dislike a lot of the newer stuff after Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure and The Adventure Begins. I actually kind of like some of that stuff. But anyway, for me, let's start out. I have to talk about the gender problem because that's a big one here. Obviously, I'm a male, if you couldn't tell that already. I guess spoiler alert. But growing up as a kid, I'm surprised I haven't seen more people talk about this. I never understood the fact why the main engines, the steam team, was pretty much all male. And the Thomas I grew up with were the seasons before Emily became a big fixture within the show. Now she has been, but if you go to the days before that, there are really no female characters other than like Annie and Clarabelle, and characters like Mavis or Daisy that didn't really appear that often. I mean, you look at those early seasons, as great as they were, and trust me, I'm not complaining, but as great as they were, if you're looking for female characters, there was a big lack of them. So I can understand why they wanted to add Emily. Personally, I felt it then, and I still feel it now. I think there were better options other than Emily, and I really haven't enjoyed her being a part of the main characters. However, I understood why they did it. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about a team of 8 engines and one of them is female, even when Emily joined, I noticed the lack of female. And as someone who is male, that actually bothered me. It obviously didn't stop me from watching Thomas, and to an extent, I still enjoy it today. But I never understood that, and I didn't like it. So for me, when I found out Nia and Rebecca would be coming on to the Steam team and replacing Edward, Henry, and I guess Toby as well, I can't say I was too upset finding that. I know some people were just completely against it, and I can understand why, but it wasn't the end of the world to me. Now you have a more even steam team of 7 engines, 4 males, 3 females. I like that. I think that's something that is important, and I think for girls, that's just a good thing. That's definitely not a bad thing. But see, to me, I look at the females they added, and I'm not too excited about it. I think that Ashima would have been the perfect role here instead of Nia. You have Ashima, who's already been established from the Great Race. I think she would make a great character to be a part of the Steam team. Instead, they go with Nia, a character who looks very similar to her, but I think it would have helped if you're going to take away 2 or 3 engines from the Steam team and replace them with 2 new ones. Wouldn't it be good if you could at least make one of those engines an old engine? I think that could have been good. Rebecca, really my biggest complaint about her is the color. I like the idea of expanding the color palette of the engines, but that yellow just looks bad on her. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I don't like the yellow on her. Anyway, I guess it's hard without actually watching Big World, Big Adventures, both the series and the movie. We don't really know too much about either of these engines, and maybe they'll be established more once we get there. But for now, those are my biggest complaints with them. So you're probably listening to me at this point and wondering, well, what's the thing you don't like about Big World, Big Adventures? And I think for me, it's the fact that they're taking such a drastic turn from what Thomas and Friends, at least in my eyes, truly is. I think these changes I understand, especially because the Thomas brand hasn't been doing good, but Thomas has been around for over 70 years at this point, which is such a long time. And even if you want to go with the TV series, it's been around over 30 years. Not a lot of shows can say that. Really, think about how many shows have been around that long. So I can, to one extent, understand why they want to take these changes. However, I think they're going at it wrong, and I think they're taking a very big risk here that could ultimately not pay off, and if you truly like Thomas, could cause the end of Thomas. Going with no narrator, which is a first in the history of Thomas and Friends, that's a risky move in my eyes. I think, and this is part of the reason I'm not too excited about the changes coming with Big World, Big Adventures, is you're going to see Thomas, instead of being different from the rest of the kids' shows out there, being something that's so unique from everything else, it's just going to blend in with everything else. We see so many shows where you have characters as narrators. I think the first show that comes to my mind really is Dora the Explorer. And sure, Dora was successful in its own right, but Dora's not around anymore. Thomas and Friends still is. So to take this change, I don't think we're going to be seeing a Frank Underwood with Thomas where he's telling the characters, the people, everybody, he's telling what his plans and intentions are. Instead, it's going to be really more like what Dora was, where it's like asking you for questions, all those things. And I think that's a big problem right there. And like to me, one of the problems I see here is and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this name wrong, Hong Mi, who is supposed to be the Chinese engine that Thomas will visit. Uh, she is pretty much just taking Rosie's body and putting Nia's face on it. At least that's what it appears to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen a lot of other people say that as well, so I don't think I am. And I guess if she's just going to be like a one-off character, it's not the end of the world, but that, at least in my opinion, looks bad, and I don't know if that's a move I'd personally be making. To me, I think change can be good. At one point in my life, I wouldn't say that about television shows, but I think the longer they go on, sometimes you do need to change things, and this could be Thomas jumping the shark. A lot of television shows have done that, and some end up getting canceled because of it. Some just kind of float for a while till they can change again, and it might work out or it might be the same, and it's just more of the same. And this is Thomas trying to change things up. It really hasn't changed much throughout its time since it's been a television show. I mean, even if you go back to the model days, going up through CGI, it's been the same type of episodes that have come out, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but this is a big change. I personally don't have a lot of hope in this change, especially looking at the fact that Mattel's wooden railway line, they've changed that. They've changed so much about all their toy lines, and it hasn't been doing well. I hate to say this, and I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you my opinion. I think we might be seeing the end of Thomas and Friends. I don't think Thomas and Friends will be around much longer. I think in 5 years from now, Thomas and Friends might have been canceled by then. That's my big worry here, and I think it's a big legit concern of something that could happen. And I think we need to watch out. I I want to hope the best for this series, but I'm not getting my hopes up that much, that's for sure. And I just have a bad feeling about this. So for me, I'm sure a lot of you probably agree with me. I don't have a lot of hope for this new turn that the series is taking. From what I understand, though, it's not going to be a permanent thing. They are going to return to the island of Sodor, so hopefully they just test the water. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I can understand why they're taking this chance. I think they almost need it considering the Thomas brand hasn't been doing well in recent years. So, for Mattel's sake, hopefully it goes well, and for the people that have enjoyed Thomas for so long, and for the people who will be enjoying Thomas, hopefully it does work out. But that's my opinions, and this type of thing, I'd love to hear your opinions. So please leave them in the comment section below, because I'm sure we all have our opinions about this. Some people probably feel really mad about this, more upset than I do, and some people are probably really looking forward to this. I guess I'm more of somewhat in the middle, probably leaning towards not excited, not getting my hopes up. So we'll see. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. This is person number 6. Talk with you later.